Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Jessica if you are, and we are having fun today. It is my deck of panning update, one of my favorite updates to do. All of my panning projects each month, I look forward to it the most. And I love it so much because it involves a deck of cards. Here's my little green pal Grogu here. This is my deck of cards that I use for this project. And each of these cards is correlated with a different prompt that helps you to select something from your makeup beauty collection to have some kind of goal on, maybe to hit pan, maybe to use up, maybe just to get a usage goal on. I love this project so much because it uses the deck of cards, kind of gamifies it a little bit more. And this project also has a lot of flexibility with the prompts. You're able to really make it your own. And it also has a fun little element where if you grab the Joker, you have to pan something that you really don't want to pan. So I don't know if that's a fun element. It's kind of like a little bit of a, torturous element, but that's what we panners love. We just love to torture ourselves just a little bit. Let's all just admit it. But it's a fun type of torture, if you know what I mean. Let's give credit where credit is due. This project was created by Emily from Emily and Max here on YouTube, who was also inspired by another YouTuber, Books with Maddie, to use a deck of cards to select from her TBR reading list. So this is just a fun way for us panners to do the same thing with that deck of cards. I'm going to jump right on into this video because I am so excited. I will be drawing some new cards this month. But before we do, if you are new here, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. And if you like deck of panning or you like my videos, please give it a thumbs up. It does help me out a lot. Leave a comment at any point down below. I love hearing from you. Are you doing this project? What kind of things did you bring in? I love watching these videos, so I'll probably be seeing them in one of your videos very soon. Let's get started. This first product came into the project in January. I drew a Black King, which is something that already has pan in it. So I decided to reach for my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer. This is the shade Radiant Bronze Light. And I've had this in my collection for years. And this is my year-long goal, a long-term item in this project, which I don't normally do. I'm trying to use this as much as possible during the course of this year and maybe even possibly use it up. So here's what this item was looking like when I first brought it in January. I've been pleasantly surprised with the amount of progress I have been able to make on this pan from month to month. It's been expanding quite quickly. Here's what it was looking like in March. I love shimmery bronzers, and I also love Hourglass's formula for all of their face powders. So this has been an absolute delight to reach for. Here's what it was looking like last month. This was after 69 uses in the project. In the past month, I reached for it 27 more times, making for 96 uses total. And here's what the bronzer is looking like today. And you can see that that pan is very big, very satisfying. And we're also starting to wear down those higher portions around the corners, kind of starting to flatten them out just a little bit more. And for something that I thought would be a very lofty goal, I'm feeling quite confident that I might be able to finish this year. I'm going to keep reaching for it as much as I can. It's just so fun to watch this waffle pan expand. And I'm just really excited to see what I can do with this in the next coming months. I love this in the summer. It works fine in the winter too. I do have it on my cheeks today and pretty much every day that I'm wearing makeup these days. And I've just been really enjoying it. I'm so glad I'm getting the use out of it. This was a very expensive bronzer. I definitely splurged on it back in the day when I bought it. So I'm so happy that it's getting all this use and I will get my money's worth during the course of this year. So that bronzer will be staying in for quite a while. This next item I brought in for the 7 of Spades. I drew it in January and the prompt was highlight. So of course I brought in a highlighter. This was the last Becca highlighter in my collection that didn't have a pan on it. This is in the shade Prosecco Pop and my goal for this was just to hit pan. So here's what it was looking like in January. It was almost brand new. I'm so happy I brought this into the project because it's been great to use. I absolutely love the Becca formula still. I've been using this with a fan brush, so the progress you're seeing is kind of a fun, interesting shape to see. And as of last month, I was very, very close to hitting pan. Here's what it was looking like then. This was after 75 uses in the project. I knew that I was going to hit pan very soon, but I continued to use it as much as I could during the past month just to see how big I could get that pan. I reached for it 22 additional times, making for 97 uses total, and here's what it's looking like today. And as you can see, I did in fact reach that goal of pan. I knew that I would, and we have quite a generous little size pan to share with you today. Very satisfying progress for me, and I am so happy that I got some use on this, and also very happy that it is now rolling out and I can work on other things in my collection. And I now have pan on every single one of my Becca highlighter shades, which I think is an accomplishment. It's not easy to hit pan on highlighters. I actually hit pan on this after 6 additional uses, so 81 uses total in this project. And then all those other uses just got that expansion that we are enjoying today. And I am happy to be rolling this one out. And I am convinced, I think I have like 8 or 9 highlighters in my collection. I will never, ever, ever, ever need to buy a highlighter ever again. And I'm happy about that. I brought this next item into the project in March. It was for the 4 of Clubs, which was a focus item. I decided to bring in this eyeshadow stick from NYX. This was on my 2024 plan to pan list. It was something that I really wanted to get use on this year and just kind of see if I still like this type of product, if it still has a home in my collection. My goal for this was to use it 24 times just because we're in the year 2024. Here's what the pencil was looking like when I first brought it into the project. During the first month, I used it 7 times, and here's what it was looking like last month. And in the past month, I reached for it 7 additional times, making for 14 uses total. And here's what the pencil is looking like today. And I have had to sharpen this at least, I think, 2 or 3 times since having it in this project. So it is just a little bit smaller than it was. I didn't make a drawing of this in my notebook. It slipped my mind. What are you gonna do? But I still have 10 more uses on this eyeshadow stick. So I'm gonna keep it in. I'm gonna try and get those 10 uses. I'm pretty sure what I'm gonna do with this item after those 10 uses, after I've reached my 24 use goal. I find that when I wear this by itself, it creases on my eyelid. And then when I top it with additional eyeshadows and use it more as a base, it also creases throughout the day. So it's just not something that I really need in my collection, but I'm going to see it through. I'm gonna get those 24 uses on it, and then I will make my final decision, hopefully by next month. I don't know if it's gonna get there. I often just forget to reach for this, but I'm going to keep it in and at least hit that 24 use goal. If not by next month, then the month after that. I'm always working on liquid lipsticks in a lot of my projects, and this is one that often has a liquid lipstick in it. And last month when I drew the 10 of Clubs affordable, I decided to reach for an affordable liquid lipstick. So this is the one from Sephora. This is pretty much a liquid lipstick, but they call theirs a cream lip stain. This is in the shade 13, and it's quite a deep, dusty rose color, deeper than I thought it would be. And it's just not my favorite shade, at least not for the spring, summertime. I feel like I would enjoy this shade a lot more in the fall and winter months, but here's a little swatch of it. I actually have this on my lips today, but I topped it with another more purpley toned lipstick, but this serves as a nice little base. It almost acts like a lip liner for other lipsticks, just to kind of keep everything contained within the lip line. And I have really enjoyed reaching for it. It's still doing great. The formula has held up beautifully. My goal was to reach for this 6 times. I actually reached for it 8 times, with the 8th use being today. And because I hit that goal, this one is also rolling out. And last month when I drew the 6 of Hearts, which was for a graveyard item, I couldn't help myself. I couldn't make a decision between 2 different products, so I decided to bring in both. The first item I brought in for the graveyard prompt was this Alouette face paint. This is for your lips and cheeks as a tint. It's a nice little like liquid blush or cream blush. And I had this in my deck of panning, I think 2 years ago, the first year I did deck of panning for a long haul item, and I used it 100 times, and then I haven't used it since. So I brought this back into deck of panning. My goal was just to reach for it 15 times, and I wasn't even sure if I still liked it. I'm happy to say that I reached for it 17 times, and I still really enjoy this product. I've just been putting the tiniest amount on my hand, kind of spreading it out with my finger, and then I go in with like a little stipple brush to get all over my cheeks. It blends out beautifully. It's not too pigmented. It leaves a nice little flush of color. I think it's a really pretty color for my skin tone, easy to wear. I'm happy it got some use this year and I get to roll this one out. But the other item that I brought in for this graveyard prompt was the CoveFX Shimmer Veil in the shade Amethyst. I had this in my deck of panning a couple years ago as well. It was for a matches shirt prompt when I first brought it in. I had tried to reach for this before it was in this project for like a shimmery pink look, and I hardly got any product out at all. So I knew that it was really coming to the end of its life. So I just wanted to give it one last hurrah before I eventually toss it in the bin. Because it's so old, you can like see the windowing on the sides here. I actually had to pull out the stopper to get to the remaining product in there. So my goal for this was to use it 8 times. I've reached for it 4 times, with the 4th use being today. I have this all over my eyelids just to, you know, really have a nice little special look for my deck of panning video. And I think it looks really pretty. It actually still performs pretty well, even though it's pretty dried up and chunky in there. You know, if you just kind of spread it out with your fingers, dab it on nice and gentle, turns out pretty okay. But I'm going to be ready to say goodbye to this one kind of soon. I'm going to be kind of sad about it. This is really pretty. I used to love liquid eyeshadows like this. It's not really something I reach for anymore. They're a little bit more high maintenance, or they can be, but it's just been fun to play with. So I'm going to keep it in 1 more month at least. I'm going to play with it a little bit more. Maybe do a few other special little pink looks. You guys know I have a lot of pink happening in my panning life right now. So this one pairs pretty well with all the other things that I'm working on. And after I reach that goal, it will be time to say goodbye to this cream eyeshadow. But we'll enjoy her while we have her. The bronzer, the eyeshadow pencil, and that cream eyeshadow, liquid eyeshadow, whatever you want to say, these are all staying in, and I am rolling out 3 items. The highlighter that I hit pan on, the Alouette face and lip tint that I hit more than my usage goal on, as well as the Sephora cream lip stain that I also went over my goal on. But because I rolled in 2 items for that one graveyard prompt, I'm only going to be rolling in 2 new cards just to get my items back to 5, unless by some chance I draw a card that makes me add an item, you know, knock on wood. I don't really want that to happen, but you know, if it does, we'll just roll with the punches, of course. But because I brought in an extra one, I'm only gonna bring in 2 cards for the 3 I'm rolling out. So now I get to wrestle with my awkwardly shaped cards. As you know, shuffling these is a challenge for me. So here is the Joker card, and make sure that you know that I'm sliding it in there. And I'm gonna give these a nice little shuffle while I show you the game board for the month. So here are the prompts for all the face cards. These stay the same every single month. They do not rotate. But the numbered cards, Emily goes in and ever so lovingly shuffles for us each and every month to keep things different, to keep things interesting, to give us some variety, and to make sure that prompts aren't repeating themselves over and over within this project. I can never just shuffle these cards without dropping them. It's just very difficult to do, but we try our best. Here I'll do a little and then I like to kind of take them apart, and this is like really the easiest way. This is how little kids shuffle cards, you know? There we go. There we go. See, I lost 1. Lost 2. Lost 3. Okay. I'm gonna give them one more round of shuffling. What should I talk about while I shuffle? How's everyone doing out there? How's your May going? My May has been busy as hell. May is such a busy month. It feels like the busiest month of the year. I feel like that every single May. And this May is no different. I have a Disney World trip coming up. In like the second 2 weeks of June, from the 9th to the 20th, I will be in Disney World. So I'm a little nervous about filming and all that. And I'm also going to Oregon to see family for Memorial Weekend. And I'm also trying to wrap up the school year right now. And I'm taking a course as well. So a lot of things going on. And I'm just grateful that I get to catch up on my YouTube videos as well. So, okay, I did my best shuffling. I'm going to cut the deck right there, and these top 2 cards are going to be my cards, so let's see what we have. Okay, the 9 of, is that the 9? No, I can read. The Queen of Diamonds is a red queen, all right, I'm not sure what that is, and the King of Spades. So we have 2 face cards, a red queen and a black king, and I've already gotten like 3 black kings this year, or maybe this is number 3. I know that one is something that already has pan, and the red queen is pick your space. So at least that's fun. I can peruse the game board and pick something fun that I want to work on. So I'm gonna do some thinking, pull out my new products, and I'll be right back. That took some thinking, but I'm back. So for the first prompt, already has pan, that black king. I almost decided to use my veto for that prompt because I've already had this prompt so many times, but I figured I might need that veto for a more dire situation later, so I just decided to roll with it. So I decided to bring in my Tartiste Pro Glow palette. As many of you know, this has been a regular in my project panning for a very long time. I have finished up 2 of the products in here, both the powder bronzer and the cream bronzer in here. And I have a nice little pan going on this top highlighter here in the shade Lit. I don't have a lot of items in my collection that already have pan that aren't currently in a project already, so why not just reach for another highlighter? I think this is a beautiful shade for the summertime. I'm not going to put a huge usage goal on this. I think I'll just say like 10 uses, and I know I'll be able to do that within a month, and I'll be able to roll this one out for the next update. So that is the first item coming into this project, just a little bit of a gimme. I'm happy to get use on this. I haven't seen any love since I rolled it out of my project back in February, so it's good to have it out and just get a little bit more use on it and enjoy it a little bit more. And for the Queen of Diamonds, I was able to pick my own space, and I had so many options. It was kind of overwhelming, but on the board this month is Spotlight a Panner. So I thought this was a great opportunity for me to show some love to my other panners out there in the community. And somebody that I really love and want to highlight is Erin Taylor here on YouTube. I will go ahead and link her channel right up here in the cards. She is so cute. I feel like we have a lot in common. I really vibe with her. She loves purple eyeshadow. I love purple eyeshadow. She has Star Wars cards. I have Star Wars cards. We're just 2 panning nerds here out in the world. So, hey Erin, I'm so excited to spotlight you in my Deck of Panning project. If you haven't already, go check out her channel. She has great content and she needs more subscribers. She deserves more subscribers because she is awesome. Erin recently posted a video depotting all of her Natasha Denona eyeshadows, so I thought that I would bring in a Natasha Denona eyeshadow in order to spotlight Erin in this project. So I brought in my Natasha Denona My Dream palette, and I'm going to try and hit pan on one of the shades in in here. This is one of the only palettes left in my collection yet to have a pan on it, and I would love to hit a pan on it this year. And I decided to kind of give myself a little bit of an easy one. I'm going to try and hit pan on this shade right here, Thrill. It already has a nice little dip going on it. It's a very neutral, easy to wear shade. There's a little swatch of it. So pretty, very light and just, you know, feminine. Nothing too bold, something I can work into a lot of different eyeshadow looks. And I don't know how long it's going to take me to hit pan on it. I've never hit pan. Well, actually, yes, I have. I've hit pan in my Natasha Denona bronze palette. So I know that these pans are pretty darn deep. It's going to be a bit of a challenge for me to hit pan on it, especially with all of the other eyeshadow projects that I'm also working on. But I'm not afraid of a challenge, and I think this one won't be too difficult for me to reach for. And hopefully in a couple months, I'll be able to hit that goal. So that is my second item bringing in. Thank you, Erin, for your inspiration. And that is all for my video today. So if you enjoyed my video, please give a quick thumbs up before you leave. It would mean so much to me. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world that this video finds you. And I cannot wait to see you in my next video. But until then, take care. Bye.